Smiles. Yay! Yes, thank you so very much for your encouragement. You have no idea. You have all, my Instagram family, you have all fed me so well. Please, let's continue to nurture and hop on over. I've now officially entered the broadcast room, both on the private Facebook community, which is Women Activating Greatness and Purpose, and Real Talk with Marsha-Ann, which is on YouTube. So hop on there. Listen, you guys have been so loyal to me on Instagram. And somebody said to me earlier that they're finding it difficult to transition. Trust me, I can relate very, very well. I'm just trying to adjust, but I do know that the quality of sound is better. And if it's a solo episode, I can actually do it all platforms. But once I've gotten a guest on for the show, then we want you to hear the guest well. So click the link now in the bio so that you can join us over on the YouTube channel, and that will hasten how we get connected today. So are you coming over? Come on over. Nope, come on over. Click the link in my bio. Join us on YouTube. And we're going to get the show on the road, but I could not leave my IG family out. I needed to remind you, hop on over so that you can join us here. Yes, hop on over. Quick. Going once, going twice. And Sam says, okay, coming. Yes, click the link in my bio and just subscribe. And we're ready. Come, Irene, hop on over to whether you want to do YouTube or the Facebook group, whichever is better for you. Do that, and we are ready to get going. All right. So, hello, everyone on YouTube as well as the private Facebook community. Good evening. And it is the last Sunday in March, the last Sunday that's for the first quarter of the year. The first quarter is officially over and done. And so I think it's quite fitting for us to first give God thanks for life. And I believe it's very, very fitting for us to really acknowledge that even although it may not have been easy, this first quarter has railroaded many of us. But even although it has not necessarily been easy, guess what? We're here. We're alive, we're well, and we're still standing. So I am going to tell my folks that are on IG, come on over. Shamin, you know that your front row seat has been reserved for you on YouTube. Come, hop on over. Thank you for joining. Now, for you on Facebook, please make sure you give me, if you did not sign up with StreamYard so that I can see your name, I need you to tell me who is typing in. So welcome. I see those of you that I know already here. Welcome. Come on, guys. No, hop on over. Click the link in my bio. Instagram, I'm ending now. Yes. No, go back to YouTube. I'm there. For real. This transition is quite something. We're going to get it by week 3. I promise you. So click the link in my bio, go on to YouTube, and you'll find it there. Yes. Hi from Mississippi, MISSISSIPPI. Welcome. So good to have you. Hello from Canada. I see that you're in the house. Yes, let's get the chats going. And so I am ending with the Instagram folks now. I hope you have taken action. You have clicked the link in my bio. And that I'll see you on YouTube. So bye. See you soon. End video. There you go. All right. So we're ready. Good afternoon, one and all. Welcome to the Real Talk Show with Marsha-Ann. And I'm so pleased to say that for those of you who are joining us for the very, very first time, Real Talk started and remains a mission of passion. This is a space where I believe we are to gather together as a community, where we can encourage one another, engage one another, empower one another, and educate one another. all with the desire for me to help to be this guide for us to ensure that we transform our lives to one of purpose, passion, and prosperity. So it's only great. Hey, Talia. It's only fitting that topics that are chosen and guests that are chosen, that they fall into that category, whether it is that they're going to engage us, empower us, educate us, or help us to live our lives of purpose, passion, and prosperity. So this evening's guest is no stranger. Drop in the chat where you're from. Oh, hi there, Miss T. Drop in the chat where you're watching us from. And I am so happy to have my guest this evening. Our guest this evening is no stranger to many of us. And I truly believe that we're going to gain from her in a significant way this evening. And hey, Amoy from Toronto. Yes, bring the troops. Bring them in. Bring them in. So good to have you here with us. And I believe all of us would agree that every day we should challenge ourselves to learn something new. And whomever teaches is irrelevant, whether the person is 100 years old or a year old, 10 years, or anything in between. I believe those of us who are open to learning will be able to say, every day if I choose to wake up, there is something that I can possibly learn. Yes, Lorna, you made it. Wonderful. That there's something that I can possibly learn. And without a doubt, I know that learning is lifelong. You know, I speak so often of my grandmother who went back to take additional courses. Now she was a principal. She had so many accolades behind her name. And at 80 years old, she wanted to learn pottery and to learn some other crafts. And she went back and she did exactly that. So as we consider ourselves as lifelong learners, it is so important for us to embrace that every day there is something that we can learn new. So if you are new to the Real Talk community and new to our platform, I want to extend again a warm welcome to you. And by the time you're finished with any episode, we're new on the YouTube platform and you're going to be able to catch the replay there. But there's any episode that you want to watch, you can catch replays from my Instagram TV. And those episodes are there for you to actually catch as a replay. So without any further ado, we have folks that are watching from Canada, specifically from London, Ontario, Toronto in the house, Clarendon, Jamaica, Florida. Listen, Nicole, remind me, where are you again? Are you in Boston? Listen, I can't remember. But whatever it is or wherever you are watching us from this evening, I want to wish you and all your loved ones all the rich blessings as we enter the second quarter of 2021. And the first thing I always pray for is good health. And with good health, we pray for prosperity, your joy, your love, and your peace. And then everything else, may it actually fall into place. So this evening, our guest this evening is no stranger to us. This is one, I have no biases, I disclaim. This is one dynamic young lady who has, at the age of 21, she's embarked on so many things, both academically, as well as just being a good citizen of the world, but also from a business standpoint. And I believe to get in the mind of how at 21, one has been able to formally start two businesses and had little businesses from childhood. But I do believe that you have the ability to give us some tips, give us some recommendations. What does it even take to have the mindset to explore doing a business, as well as having the mindset to want to make money and providing, whether it's a product or a service, to make this space better? So without any further ado, I think it says that your mic is off. Is that managed by me? Oh, Thank
No,
goodness.
it's not.
Wonderful. So I would say to you, welcome, welcome. Give us that Sunday
Thank you.
evening. Sunday evening. Great to have you here with us, and
Thank
so happy that you're able to share this platform. It's quite an honor. Obviously, I do this interview with great pride. And let me tell you what's significant about this. You helped me last year to do my first live, the live that I did out of fear, the live that I had this trepidation, like, oh my gosh, can I really do this? And you held my hand. And here we are, this many episodes later, because you gave me a kickstart. So I believe it's very significant that you are kickstarting the second episode that's being done on YouTube. And
Yeah.
I could not have a better guest join me for that this evening. So give us everything that you have, the visionary, the CEO of Handmade by Sparks, the CEO of Sculpted by Sparks, and as you call yourself, the Dr. CEO as well, doing med school and business on your mind. Tell us everything that we need to know about you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone. I've seen the comments in the chat. It's great to see so many people over here. Moving over to YouTube, I know that it's a difficult transition for most because we're not used to it, but it's good to know that there's so much support for Real Talk with Marsha-Ann. And you may have been nervous last year, but I am currently nervous now. So it will take me a little while to get warmed up.
Okay.
Hi there, Amoy. Yes, so my name is Aysha-Simone Brown. I'm the daughter of the host, and I attend the UE. I'm currently in my third year, and I study medical science. I also, as she said, I'm the owner of Handmade by Sparks and Sculpted by Sparks. Handmade by Sparks is a crochet company, and I make swimsuits and loungewear in the peak seasons of summer and normally winter to accommodate my schedule. And then I have Sculpted by Sparks, which is a fitness company currently specializing in resistance bands, which you can use at home, in the gym, or on the go. So those are my two companies, and I am here to share some things I've learned along the way regarding a mindset that you need for life and entrepreneurship. So thank you for welcoming me.
We're going to make you feel a lot better.
Look forward to sharing. So, yes.
All right. So one of the things that I believe a lot of us on here really are aware of is the fact that really starting a business is so difficult, right? For many. There are those of us who, like me, they've never started a business. They've never had the courage to believe that, oh my gosh, can I really start an actual business? And so I want to commend you for having that mindset. But if you could drill a little bit deeper, what is your drive? Like, what is it about having your own business and having that kind of courage? What is that? What is that from? Is it the love of money? Is it help us?
Okay. Firstly, thank you, Kadeem. Can't believe you're here. And then what drove me to start really? I like the idea of being independent. From a young age, I didn't particularly want to rely on you or any parental financing as I got older, even though I appreciate it. Obviously, can't go through life without that support. But I just wanted to put myself in a position where I'd be able to start to pay for stuff that I wouldn't need to keep coming to you to ask, oh, can I have this to go XYZ places? So it was really more of that. And that wouldn't particularly be the reason I started. I started because people were encouraging me to sell what I had just made and thought was a simple swimsuit. I never started making the swimsuits with the intention of creating a business out of it. So I would say it was really listening to what people were interested in, what people kept coming to me about. I didn't really I didn't want to ignore that because normally people won't come to you for something that you're not meant to do, particularly. And it wasn't a bad thing that I was doing. So I was like, why not? So I just I kept things low key because I was still learning, but I took the advice. And for the people who actually asked me for the swimsuits, they were the first persons that I decided to make the swimsuits for. So that would be the initial reason. The initial
Right.
reason is that people were asking me to launch this business, right? And then as I went on, I was like, yeah, I definitely do like the feeling of having that money that I could support myself with little things. I am not rich, but I have the ability to support myself in a way that I don't feel extremely dependent. And I like that for myself, and I like that for young people. I think it's a good thing to have.
It's a very good thing, actually. And it's not even just earning, but it's earning and as well as the desire
Invest.
to invest,
Yeah, yeah,
which is another area that I find that you're definitely focused on doing.
yeah.
So the very first thing then that I'm hearing is that your mindset, well, first it was in response to what so many folks were
What
asking
people?
you for. So
Yeah.
once you started to get the rhythm,
Hmm.
and I understand that to mean then you were just starting small. But
Right.
then as it grew,
Yeah.
how did you navigate that?
Okay. That's a good question because I feel like at a point I felt like I needed to close the business. I think I said this on the first live that I did as well. It was because at that point in time, I was 16, so it was a pivotal year for me to go into tertiary education. And at that time, that was the biggest exam that I would have to do in my life. Like looking back, that's what I thought this was make or break. And the teachers never made it any better or easier for me because they would see me and like, oh my God, you're still selling swimsuits. What about your SBAs? What about your IAs? And I was starting to get kind of nervous because secondary school teachers tend to put so much pressure on CXCs that they tell you like you're not gonna get a job if you get a certain grade in CXE. And looking back now, it's like LOL. That literally it wasn't that important. But I started to get very nervous, and I was looking at cutting back in different ways. But as I grew, I recognized that in the points that I was able to take off or take breaks and close, people were understanding because I began to develop a standard for the business. It wasn't that people would stop expecting me to be running 24/7 all year round. And as I took those breaks, they would know when to ask me for swimsuits. And so I'm glad I started that early enough because now that I'm in med school, people are literally, I'm running that business, Handmade by Sparks, based off of returning clientele from 3 years ago, from from at least 2 to 4 years ago.
Wow.
So that, and they will not be ordering for a 1 week in advance thing. They order for 2 months in advance, 1 month in advance. And that's not a culture that's consistent in Jamaica. I can say that people are normally very last minute. But once you have set a standard for your company and for yourself, I believe that you can establish that, and people really can't cuss you for it. They can either decide that you aren't the person to supply them, or that they love your work enough to know that this is what they have to do in order to get a piece from you. So that's really what it is. I would say that's a good thing to establish. What's the standard for my company that I need people to respect and to uphold, um, in order to continue without needing to close,
Right.
without
I
need to
think
close permanently. Sorry.
I think that's a very brilliant point to speak about, though,
I cannot
because
see it, and it's very hard.
keep your
Thank
glass,
you.
keep your
No,
glasses.
the glasses are dirty, so thank you so much.
But to your point, I believe what you're saying really speaks a lot to your work ethics and your business ethics, because it is, first and foremost, it is commendable that your clients of 2 to 4 years ago are still coming to you. So that speaks
Right,
about what you do, the business that you have, the service that you provide, and the quality of your product. But
right.
I also believe what is very important is that you've set a standard for yourself
Hmm.
that your clients can understand. So you are communicating with them to say, I'm available in this period of time.
Yeah,
Give me enough notice, because one thing is sure, anytime that you're committing to, your fingers go on fire to ensure that you meet that, for you to meet that time frame.
right, right.
So I believe that that's a very important nugget. So a big part of that mindset and that tip for entrepreneurship is, you already said you started small, right? You started because you were encouraged to start.
Mhm.
Then a big part of it is knowing that the business that you're supplying, you can maintain a business with the boundaries, right,
Yeah,
Cheryl? Thank you. With the
yeah,
boundaries
yeah.
that are in place for you to be able to say, I'm available to you. However, this is when I'm available.
Yes. And just to add a point of boundaries, I have realized that online businesses have done a good thing. In the bio, they'll have 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. operating hours or opening hours. That is also a form of establishing boundaries, because when I just started, I allowed people to message me at 11 p.m., 1 a.m., and I was still answering. That is literally creating a very unhealthy business relationship. These are not your friends. So you need to establish those opening hours, regardless if you're an online business. You treat it like it's a company, because it is. And those people need to, either when they message in that time, they know to expect a response. But if they're outside of that time, they need to wait until 7 a.m. the next day for a response. So that's also a way of establishing boundaries if you're all round, a year-round business, I should say. Yeah.
I hear people talk about it all the time, how they suffer such burnout because they are going 24/7. They
Yeah.
have not established boundaries. And we do teach people how to treat us, whether that's personally or professionally.
Right.
So I believe that that's a very, very important aspect for you to speak of. And I appreciate that. So I'm writing that down as point number, I think I'm at point number 3 already. I'm so enamored by this guest. I'm normally writing copious notes already, and I feel a little awestruck. So I want to then get on to the other step. So
Yep.
you had that business first, and
Yes.
then you morphed into having this passion for fitness.
Right.
And I want to understand that progression and then how that progression led you into this business, because you're going to help to better identify for somebody who is amazing at something.
Mhm.
They're considering what they want to do. How can they actually start? Give us a working knowledge of how that evolved for you.
Okay, so once again, um, this was also something I was doing for myself. I started fitness for myself, um, in 2019, and that was just a personal decision to take my health into my own hands. stop playing around with just my genetics. And as I was sharing, I think it comes to how you share what you're doing in your life, I guess. Like anything you decide to take on. I was sharing it via Instagram stories, like when I just started training, and people were able to see that progression without even noticing or without explicitly me posting before and afters. They were just seeing, wow, she started in January and she was a little small girl, and then she started put on some size. And as you can see that progression, I guess it's something that's beneficial for people to, people are results driven, I guess.
Right.
So as you see someone working and you can see that it's working for them, people started to come asking, oh, how did you go about it? What do you eat? How much time do you train? Just and answering, being interactive with people. I do think that's a helpful thing, especially on this online basis. I cannot speak for a physical business that's open at a location. I don't have those tips to offer, but
Right.
this is just from an online standpoint. Launching an online business, I would say that once you're interacting with people and being honest, being real, and just sharing the ups and downs, because I've shared where I've had hard times during the fitness journey. I'm sorry, is there an echo?
I heard a little one, but it's nothing major.
Okay, so that's 2019, and then 2020, the pandemic came. And with the pandemic, we were inside the house. So that's when I started posting way more. And why did I start? Is because people were asking for workout videos, because I wasn't sharing anything on my page at that time. I wasn't sharing anything on my page for 2019 because, as I said, I was trying to get into this fitness thing for real. I was trying to understand it, learn about it. So, I did the do, and I said, all right, guys, I'll start making some videos in my house, videos on the road, just sharing some workout videos. And then people were giving me feedback. That's how you know that people are either receiving something well or not. Um, and they were giving me feedback that is very helpful. And I mean, it was nice to see that we were able to come together in that way during the pandemic to, do something productive or useful or helpful, I should say, rather than just withering away. And depression was real during that time. And I think the videos and just working out was a way to kind of help people. So again, business wasn't on my mind. It literally wasn't there until you were the one who said, oh, um, is there a product that you could offer to people that could help them in the house working out? And we were going back and forth. We never had the resistance bands like concept fully played out or let's say fully written out or anything. So I think we just said it casually in passing like two times, and then I I must say went to sleep, and no, I went to sleep, and I think I had a dream about like a band with my name on it, just a name, because at the time I did not have a name. And I remember who gave me Sculpted by Sparks, Akil Gardner. Big up Akil Gardner, because he was like, what are we calling this then? He just said it casually. He said, are we calling it Fit with Sparks or Sculpted by Sparks? And I said, it's Sculpted by Sparks. Like the name just stuck.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, once I got the name and then I had the concept, I just got to work. I did not really tell you that I was going to like take this thing serious. I just started doing bag of research, like heavy research. I stayed up about 5 straight nights looking on YouTube for how to start, finding suppliers. I don't know if I should give the backstory about me trying to launch a different business in like January 2020. I think that would be good to show that you're not supposed to do things that you're not literally aligned with. Like,
Ooh, talk about that.
so January 2020 was when I realized that Handmade by Sparks isn't something I can take on. Like, it's so labor intensive. So I can't maintain it throughout med school. So I wanted something I can just sell. I can buy and sell quickly and maintain a profit. So I said, oh, everybody's selling lashes. Let me sell lashes. Now I wear lashes once a year, if that much, because I wear it when I'm going to any parties or any big event. So I'm not a lash girl, number one, as to why that was a red flag. And then I said, I go on YouTube, I researched. The main key with starting a business is obviously research, market research. Are you supposed to be in this industry? It's both a global market research and then localized to where you are. So I'm looking on YouTube how to find suppliers, vendor lists, everything. I did everything. I even ordered samples of the lashes, got them here, and then when I was testing them, I was like, nah, this is so hard to put on everything. It was a disaster, but I was still trying to push to launch it until when I was ready to place the order for like a lot of lashes, the pandemic came and the country locked down. So I was
Wow.
like, yeah, this was not supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I completely scrapped that concept, scrapped the idea. It wasn't supposed to happen. I accepted that humbly and I accepted that with much thanks because I am not representative of a lash fanatic. I don't like lashes. And how can you sell something that you don't like and
Wow.
something that you don't represent? So it wouldn't have gone well. I'm glad I dodged that bullet. So back to the Sculpted by Spark sourcing. So I sat and I sourced and I sourced. Um, I source on Alibaba, which is a common sourcing platform, but I sourced with much intention. I looked um, I looked at the supplier descriptions, and then I also sent the same message to about 15 suppliers because I'm like, I don't want to get someone that, oh, the first nice response I like, I'm going with that person. That's not how you source. You have to send out at least 15 to 20 um, messages and then see whether or not someone is trying to literally rip you off. Someone's a scammer. There are a lot of things to look for when you're sourcing. So I just sent that out and then I meticulously went through, sifted through the suppliers, and then I got narrowed down to about two or three. Asked for samples. That's another key. If you're selling a product, you will need samples to decide whether or not you want to proceed with the product. No, sorry, with the supplier. So order that sample, waited. This was all happening while I was just doing the workout videos. I never tell anyone anything. So I get the stuff that the what did I get? The sample, and I'm just messing around with it, messing around with it at home and at the gym. Now, what do I do when I realize that the sample is good enough for me to want to proceed? I start making videos with those bands. Just like, oh, I just bought them from a store. And
So
I'm just,
strategic.
yeah, I'm just going on. I'm making videos, and then people start asking, oh, where did you get that band? So that's when I say, oh, more info coming soon. So you see the strategy? That's how you move with intention. You have to, no, the human brain is like, it's not as complicated as we think. If you realize how people really function in this world, the waist trainers and little things that catch people's eye, you can sell it really quickly. because they just want something that looks good. It looks like it works. Um, and but my thing works. Like my product actually works. So I'm not trying to compare it to waist trainers. But I got people asking, and then we placed the order and waited, and then launched in October 2020 during a pandemic. And I don't take that lightly, obviously. It's a huge blessing to be able to do that. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. And I took a big bet on myself because I was looking back today. I said to my mom, I thought that what I was launching was a few or a small number of products. But when I look back, it's like, for a girl like me, I'm not an influencer. Like, I'm not a macro influencer to sell how much I sold in the beginning was like, wow, okay, wow, that was a lot looking back. So, yeah, it is. I agree. Kitania said, be a product of the product. That's so true.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a solid statement.
Yeah.
Before
But
you go
you
on.
are your brand. I mean, we
Mhm.
say this all the time. You are your brand. So me being Sparks Lashes would not have struck anyone's chord because you don't see me in lashes. You don't even see me in the fusion lash. So it wouldn't have made sense. The math just wouldn't match. So
So I believe that's an important tip then. Other than mindset, an important tip that you give as it relates to entrepreneurship, other than saying you've got to be your brand. And Katania, I love that. Be a product of the product.
mhm.
You have to it is best to represent what
Yeah,
you are selling or
yeah,
what you're offering, whether it's a product or a service. You have
right.
to, it has to really be a part of you, because at the end of the day, I
Hmm.
say this all the time, people do business with who they like and who they trust. And
Yeah.
at the very beginning, you said something. You said a big part of what you believe from a business standpoint has been a success for you is that you just keep it real. You're engaging and you
Hmm.
keep it real. So you tell folks when it's not going well, you
Hmm.
tell them when it is in fact going well. So if somebody is on here that needs to have that important takeaway, if you
Hmm.
are doing a business, whether product or service or nonprofit, no matter what you're doing, it should
Yeah.
align with who you are,
Right.
what you actually represent. But
Right.
you also said a very important word for me is being intentional. No matter what we're doing, we have to be intentional. Somebody on here could be launching a podcast, and they're launching a podcast because they want to be able to have their voice heard, but the content of their podcast needs to align with who they are. So
Yes.
I think the whole intention as well, intentionality as well as alignment, no matter
Yes.
what it is, it
Yes.
needs to be a representation of who you are.
Yes. And I'd like to add, sometimes people, well, especially in this age where we think we have to push everything at the same time, you may have multiple passions. I know that I do. I'm one of those people. I have a lot of ideas. But if you're pushing too much stuff at once, how can you expect your people? You remember, you only have one audience, really. So how can you expect your audience to be supporting different three different concepts that you have launched at the same time? It's not about like spacing it adequately where, okay, 2016 you've launched something. You give people 4 years, then you launch another thing. I'm not saying that it's a 4 year timeline that you have to stick to. I'm just giving an example of allowing people to support one thing for a decent amount of time before you introduce them to your other company. And you also will need that time because you can't be launching three businesses and learn from all three, because it's chances are you may lose one out of the three if you're trying to learn from all three at the same time. You have to understand that if you don't have a team, if you're a one woman or one man team, you can't manage all three businesses that are all new. I'm not saying you cannot have three businesses um,
Right.
and manage them, but if you're starting three brand new business, you know, you cannot spread yourself too thin. Thank you. that
Yeah.
is the that is the conclusion. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the conclusion though. Because I know there are lots of people with so much ideas, and they like sometimes I'm talking to people who want advice and they're telling me all these things that they want to do, and I'm like, okay, but which one do you want to do now? You
Mhm.
have to know what you want to do right now. Which one are you going to choose? Which one is earning for you right now?
Right.
And you have
Because
to just go with
otherwise,
that.
you're so, to the point. Otherwise, you're spread so thinly
Hmm.
that, yeah, I mean, Cheryl, you've said it, the ability to compromise becomes so easy
Yeah,
because you're not able to pour out any more of who you are in so many different channels.
yeah,
So I think that's a very, very important point for those who are in that arena. And like I said, sometimes folks are entering something that's a nonprofit, they're entering something that's product and service, they're actually launching a business, they're doing school at the same time. I
yeah,
mean, that's a lot. So the importance of balance is key.
yeah,
And what I really don't want to overlook in that process is doing it with excellence. Like whatever it is, do it with excellence. So, in other words, you would challenge us to then say, if they think of your name and
hmm,
your brand, what is one word that could be associated with you, your name, your brand? Is that a method of operating?
yeah. That's a good method. Um,
So, what do you believe people associate with you?
uh, I think people may think of the Sparks brand as, well, I don't know. I don't know. I personally think of my brand as revolutionary because um, just the offerings, it's
Mhm.
not something that you see every day from my age group. So I'm not sure what people think. It would be nice to see. So if
Well,
you have
well,
a word,
also,
you
yeah,
can
I
drop
mean,
it.
also, it's not necessarily only revolutionary, and I love that word, but it's also what is synonymous with your service. What I love that. Sparks, you're so right, because she's always flying off good sparks, right? Excellence should be a lifestyle. Yes, I like that, Kadeem. That's vital. Quality.
Quality. That's a nice one. Yeah, I think that is a good one. That is it. That's the one that people always say. I just did not remember. Quality. My product, for both of them, they are very high quality. So,
And the service supports the quality that you offer, because
correct.
can we call a spade for folks to still be wanting your product
Yeah.
2 to 4 years that they've been a client and they still want you? Ooh, one of
Hey,
our favorite
Sid.
persons. Hey, Jay.
Yes.
Service. Yeah, it's
Thank
so
you.
important. So whatever one's brand represents,
Yeah.
it needs to be that somebody can say, boy, whenever I have service with this person,
Hmm.
this is my expectation.
Yeah.
Timeliness, service, quality,
Right, right.
efficiency. So it's so important that we ourselves ask ourselves. It's an important self-assessment as well
Mhm.
when people think of us as a person, because I also don't believe you can dissect fully who you are as an individual. You are also representing your brand,
Yeah, yeah.
regardless of the product or service. So it's not like Jekyll is here and Hyde is here, and it's two
Yeah.
different persons. So I believe we must always ask ourselves, what do people think about us when they're doing business with us?
Yeah. Well, I
So
mean, and you, without even owning a business, you are a brand. So
correct.
everyone is a brand. Everyone is supposed to function like a brand because your name is a brand. You're born with the name, so you get a free brand just right there from being born. So what is your name going to hold? What kind of weight is it going to hold in the world? Even if you don't have a company, you can just think about what legacy are you going to leave. Even if you don't achieve like a celebrity status, I think people are trying to chase celebrity status. Like, what are you as a human being in your country, in your community? What are you going to leave behind for people to say, oh, this person did this, and that's what they're known for. That's how they impacted, how they changed something. So I think we should all think of ourselves beyond entrepreneurship, just as a human being. You're a brand, and you can decide what you want to leave, what legacy you want to leave for yourself.
Wow. I couldn't have said that any better. That
Yeah,
is so well said, because I believe that too many, regardless of age group, are so busy chasing the spotlight and chasing the hype
right, right.
versus determining, God, what is my purpose here and how can I represent my purpose through who I am as a brand?
Yeah,
And we shouldn't nullify it. We shouldn't nullify it. There are children who are so naturally gifted from they're 3 years old. They're naturally gifted in the arts.
yeah,
Why are we trying to have them sway away from that aspect? Let's build them up to know that they're a name, they're a brand. Everybody on here that's listening, you're a name and you're a brand, and that alone is something for you to celebrate. My goodness, you gave us some phenomenal tips this evening. Anyone have any questions? Drop it in the chat at this time. We want to get questions from Aysha-Simone, and I'm going to give my pointers that I heard you share this evening for those who may have missed it.
right.
So your concept or how you started in this arena of entrepreneurship was really about you channeling your own desire,
Yeah,
that you made a product that was really for yourself, and
yeah,
folks began to appreciate it, and then they asked you for it, and then it kind of evolved, so that we understand you just started small
yeah.
and your
Um,
expectations expanded.
hmm?
And your expectations expanded as you went along,
Oh,
and so did the
yeah,
business.
definitely, definitely.
Did you ever think you would fail?
Yeah, more with Handmade by Sparks than right now. Like, absolutely, because as I said, like the odds. Normally, when people feel like there's opposition, you focus on the opposition more than the people who are supporting. So even though I had orders, all I kept thinking about was the teachers who were saying, "Nana, this is not good to keep up when you're in school." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm definitely gonna fail, and if it's not in business, then I'm going to fail in school." So either way, I thought I was gonna lose
Wow.
some way. So I do think I started to really pull back on business, and I mean, thankfully, it wasn't something where it was so obvious to people, but it
Okay.
was obvious to me that I was really pulling out. And I was just trying to buckle down with work. Um, I mean, just thankfully, both ended up being saved. But yeah, I thought I was going to fail, and thank God I didn't. So thank you. Thank you. Great presentation of the product when received. Thank you so much. Packaging will get better with time. But we use what we got right now. Thank you very much, Auntie Cheryl.
So I would also want to say though is that point of what people were saying to you and the impact it had on you.
Yes.
So the ability to block out the noise
Mm-hmm.
is so very important. I'll read the questions for you if you're not able to see well, the
Sorry,
young lady.
I saw the question.
All right, so I'll read it. What's one weak area you plan to work on for the remainder of this year, whether it's personally or business wise? Great question.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so personally, I'm trying to work on my ability to resolve conflict. Um, and actually face it without hiding from it. So that's my goal for the rest of the year. Business wise, I just feel like at this point the lockdown has started to take a toll on me. I'm just trying to push through it, but I can feel that I'm tired,
Mhm.
and I feel like it's weighing down on my ability to push towards what I have, my vision that I've had for the company. But um, I would say business wise, I need to continue to market my marketing skills because I'm currently everything for the company. I do every role. So I I want to learn how to market like really well. So I'm gonna start investing more in that marketing side of things. But yeah, I think that's what I would say in short. Those are two main things that I would love to achieve for this year.
Wow.
Thank
I'll read for you. It's Auntie Donna saying, congratulations on your award
thank you.
that you got last night for volunteerism. And then
Thank
the last thing that I would want to ask for
Auntie
everyone.
Cheryl Basil, thanks. Wow.
Oh, wow. Hey, Auntie Cheryl Vassal, I didn't even see that. The other thing I want to share with you is opportunity that you need to be talking about, and that is how do you manage your time? Like, seriously, to study,
I think
try and
it's so funny when people ask this because I'm like, I don't manage my time well. Like, I think people really don't understand how bad it is. And
well, you're,
y'all just
you
y'all
like
just
it easily.
see you realize I do not post about school. I do not post anything about school. So I will not be answering that question because I do not have balance in that area. So I would just like to say next question, please, because it's not something that I considered. I don't pride myself in good time management. I don't think I have that yet. And it is the truth. I'm not like, oh, you're too hard on yourself. It's just the truth. If I'm focused on business, I'm focused on business, and it's very hard to go back to schoolwork and yeah, that balance is not there for me yet. But I am not going to just keep saying that for years to come. I plan to resolve that soon.
Very good. Put a timestamp on it. How do you plan to delegate or to get other people to help you with the many roles with your business you're already doing as a one-man show? I can't crochet, so I'm not volunteering. And I don't represent the bands effectively.
Well,
Yeah.
I've been asking you to do that, but anyway, moving right along. Um, with Handmade by Sparks, I've been meaning to outsource for like a year and a half, I should say. But sourcing is a little bit difficult when it's a trade that people would like to do independently, especially for young people. It's where you see, I mean, there are a lot more crochet companies now than when I started. It's a good thing. People are
Right.
getting bread, but it's also where the difficulty comes with me trying to find people who are probably older, who want to do something with their time. So that sourcing is a little bit difficult. It's more difficult now, I should say, with people being literally on lockdown. I cannot be getting the word out like that.
Right.
But I would like to outsource for Handmade by Sparks as soon as possible because I feel like I could be doing so much more
Mhm.
with the company if I wasn't just relying on myself.
Right.
Now, what else? Sculpted by Sparks, I'm not pushing for that right now. I just started. I'm doing well so far on my own,
Mhm.
and it's not something that's as labor intensive as crocheting, so I'm okay. I feel quite okay with managing Sculpted by Sparks right now. I don't have a factory, I don't have all of that yet, so I'm okay. I'm good. But I'd
I
like to
like that word
outsource.
yet.
Yeah, yeah, nah. I ain't small. I ain't small. Yeah, nah. Factory, all of that. All of that. Yeah.
Wow, I love it. Now, Jay, for sure, I don't know how she does it, but she says that when it comes on to time management, she's got you. So
Okay, I'm
I
meeting with
believe
you ASAP.
I
That's for
believe
me.
both of us will need to book an appointment to meet with you for sure. So this has been a wonderful session. We appreciate the engagement. Your takeaways from here are numerous. I'm going to wrap them up real quickly. The mindset aspect is key. Mindset being intentional, right? About everything that we do. Embracing that we are to start small, understanding, stay in our lane, like represent or choose something that we know that comes naturally to us and represents us as a brand. That's from the mindset standpoint. From the entrepreneurship standpoint, establish boundaries and keep them. Don't run yourself ragged. Identify when you're available to your clients, communicate with them. And then the other aspect of entrepreneurship is about engagement and communication.
Right.
Keeping your clients in check and always keeping them abreast and updated. And research.
Yeah, a lot of it. I just add one more point actually is that you should be very mindful of how you interact with anyone, literally anyone. Because once you're out there as a brand or as a business owner, your reviews or recommendations or referrals are what will make your business either grow or start to plummet. So there I've seen several times where someone makes a mistake, a big mistake, and that gets out on social media or just word on the street, and people will literally say, do not do business with that person ever again. And trust me, they will listen. I have even listened, like based on how some people have operated, and I've taken my business somewhere else. So just remember that people always have a choice between you and someone else, and you're never too good for people not to switch from you. So stay humble in that as you operate your business and as you operate as a person, everyone deserves equal respect.
I think I want to chime in on that though, because in this day and
Okay.
age where I find that people just run to social media for everything,
Mhm.
there has to be credibility to what the individuals are saying, because sometimes folks are unreasonable. They just never got the answer from
Mhm.
you that they were looking for. So, for
Right.
example, they wanted an order for you. They asked you today, Saturday, they wanted it by Monday, and you
Mhm.
said no because it's not attainable.
Right.
Then all of a sudden,
Mhm.
they're saying don't do business with her because her
Oh.
customer service is poor, you
Oh,
know?
right, right.
So I think that in today's day and
I
age,
guess it would be subjective for sure.
right,
Yeah.
we have to just kind of measure. But you are absolutely right, that folks are so much more accessible to you, and they feel that they actually have some amount of entitlement to you, and what you say truly does
I
matter.
think they have a lot of entitlement to you.
Yeah, yeah. And we kind of have to establish boundaries around that as well. And
Yeah.
the last thing you said, which I wrote down as a very big point, bet on yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a very, very good point. Our queen of entrepreneurship, Sandra, who has betted on herself in so many arenas, she has also just joined and she said, well done. But betting on ourselves in anything at all that we're doing, I believe, is so important. So, Dr. CEO, the lady of the moment, I want to say thank you so much for being a guest on Real Talk this evening. And to everyone that has joined, we know that you could have spent your Sunday anywhere else. For
Yeah.
those of you who are in Jamaica, you know what to do. Stay put until 5 a.m. tomorrow. I'm extremely proud, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Um, and so, without a doubt, for those of you who have just joined or just joining for the first time on YouTube with me or the Facebook platform, let's just remember that Real Talk is our space. This is our community. This is where we come together to engage, encourage, empower, and educate one another. And my mission is to ensure that I can aid, along with you doing it yourself, to live a life of purpose, passion, and prosperity.
Yes.
So, until next time, this is the last Sunday in March. May you go with God's richest blessings into this new week and embrace the upcoming month that is on our heels. And we pray daily for good health. We pray for God's peace, love, and joy. And we pray for you and your respective families. All that's good. Be blessed. Did you have a
Yes.
comment, Aysha-Simone?
Yes, thank you. Thank you to everyone who is on the live, who joined the live. And thank you. You see, I got a review right here. Sandra Samuel said, from order to delivery was seamless. The brand is reliable. So that's literally how business goes, guys. That's a actual representation of how it goes. So thank you so much to everyone who joined. I do appreciate the interactiveness in the chat. And yeah, thank you and have a great evening. Bye.
Bye. Thank you all so much. Rich blessings and continue to enjoy your evening. Bye bye now.